I realized that I did not necessarily fulfill one of my promises that I made, which is that I said last episode we were going to go through the Ranchero, talk about what it needs. But I did not do that because honestly, last episode I was pretty much just focused on trying to get it run. The reason being because I didn't really know what it needed until I at least saw it run. Now that I've seen it run, I think I have a fairly complete list of everything that it does need in my head. I'm ready to go through that with you guys, but first, I want to pull it out and wash it off because it looks dirty, filthy, and nasty, and it's probably sat forever and hasn't been washed. I just want to see what the paint's going to look like, so let's do that first. Okay, well that was fun. I thought about just editing that out because that was obviously terrible, but I'm going to leave it in so that you guys can learn from my mistakes. Don't do what I do. Don't try to stop a 4,000-pound car going down a hill by yourself. Get some friends to help you. Have somebody to pilot the vehicle. That was dumb, and I shouldn't have done that. I almost ran this beautiful classic car into that tree right there. Luckily, it kind of stopped on its own. I also tweaked my knee kind of good. I'm shaking. It was scary. It was dumb. Don't do that. I got the car outside now, so I guess I'll go about continuing to wash it. I don't know how I'm going to get it back inside because I can't push it back up this hill. This was a terrible idea. Yep. Alright guys, I've got it all washed up, looks great. The paint cleaned up pretty well, so I'm happy about that. I did find a couple of dents and imperfections that I didn't know were there, but I mean, that was going to happen. It's an old car. I still feel like this thing is in excellent shape, and I'm really happy with how it looks and the condition that it's in. The deal that I got it for, I think, is just crazy. I couldn't possibly be mad about it, so yeah. Right now, I cannot get it back up into my garage by myself, but I have a couple of friends coming over who are going to help me push it back up in there. So I just moved it up the driveway a little bit for now so I could get my other car out. I was going to give you guys a tour of the things that are wrong with it and what it needs to get it back on the road. Basically, this car hasn't had tags in 20 years, but I was told that it ran and drove pretty good like a year ago, fairly recently. It, you know, can cruise on the freeway, it runs and shifts. Basically, all the go forward aspects of the car still work fine. And the main problem when that person drove it is that the brake pedal didn't work. If you touched the brakes, then the brake pedal would stick down and you had to pick it back up with your foot. It's pretty sketchy. And since then, that person took the whole original vacuum brake booster apart and out of the car. They tried to replace it with another one, but that one didn't fit. And basically the story is that you just can't find that part anywhere. So it sat for a year while they were trying to find that piece and just couldn't. So the car basically now has no brakes at all whatsoever from inside of the car. That needs to be addressed before the car can be driven. The floors are also pretty rusty. There's a bunch of pinholes and they're really, really thin. So I plan on addressing that as well before the car gets driven. But besides those things, this car is pre-DEQ, so I don't need to do anything fancy before I register it. We can just throw this car on the road at any point once I get it fixed up. I'm really looking forward to doing that. I think for the brakes, I'm just going to do a Hydro Boost conversion. I've been doing a bunch of research about this. It's pretty easy. If you use a Chevy Astro Hydro Booster, the flange where it connects to the firewall unbolts from the Hydro Booster, so you can just make your own flange, bolt it to the Hydro Booster, bolt it to any firewall with no drilling or cutting required, and then build the rest of the system from there. I'm going to use a Saginaw power steering box and replace the stock power steering pump in this thing. I'm pretty sure that the power steering pump in this is shot anyways because it's disconnected right now. I could be wrong, but either way, it's kind of required for the Hydro Boost system, so I'm probably going to end up building a whole Hydro Boost system on this car. It's going to cost me a few $100s or so, but I think it's going to be worth it for the increased braking performance, and also for the fact that even if I did, like, there's a way that I could send in the factory vacuum booster and have it rebuilt, but even that is a few $100s. It also takes a good while. There's a wait time on that. The problem with that is that I intend to take this car, drive it around, drive it anywhere, use it to tow, and I want it to be reliable, and if it were to break down, I want to be able to find parts for it to fix it almost anywhere. And if I do the Hydro Boost conversion, then those parts are available anywhere. If I repair the original vacuum system, those parts are not available anywhere. So I think it's pretty simple and straightforward to do that. I'm also going to be putting some Honda Civic bucket seats in this thing because the original bench seat is nasty. I'm going to do it the same way that I did with the Bug pretty much. Just going to get some flanges welded to the floor. Other than that, this thing is a pretty light project. It has very minimal rust, and a lot of the things seem to be there. It seems to be pretty complete. It runs really well. I know it doesn't convey very well in the videos, but it doesn't sound like there's any sort of misfire or compression issues or vacuum or exhaust leaks or anything like that. It runs really, really well. So I'm really looking forward to getting it on the road, seeing how it performs, and just getting to enjoy this old classic Ford. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I hope you continue to follow along. Hit that like and subscribe button to see more.